Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Christopher, and I am going to trade live with you today, which means we're trading futures, we're trading gold, we're trading crude oil, we're trading S&P 500. But, and that's the reason why I'm a bit in a hurry right now, I haven't done my pre-market analysis. And that's basically what we're going to do. I'm going to lead you through my process, which is basically just having a look at the weekly, the daily, and the real-time hour session of each market, just to have a feeling for what might be happening today in the market. I'm trading on Sierra chart. That means, and I'm sorry if you cannot see some of the screens right now because I have multiple ones, that basically means that I am connected with Apex to Sierra chart and I trade it in my funded account. No, not my funded, it's not a funded account. I'm sorry to say. It's a, what's the other name? Not funded account, it's a evaluation account. You know what I mean. And now I'm just making my pre-market analysis. And we start from the very top, which is the weekly analysis. And I'm going to show you in a second. I'm just going to do a couple of screenshots because usually what I do is I have my pre-market analysis in Notion. I'm going to show you what I write down in a second. Let's see here, that works well. Okay, a weekly analysis on ES. What do we have here? So as you see, and if you're trading and you're new to trading, you will also see it, that we have a very strong long trend. We are in a long trend and we're going to go long, or I'm going to find long trades as long as we are in this long trend, and we haven't found like a valid reason to go short. That's what I'm going to write down. The next thing I'm going to write down is that although we are very much long trending, look at this here. This green line here, I just made it myself. This is the point of control of the previous to last week. And the point of control of this week is down here at the very bottom, although we had this very long squeeze, the very intense long squeeze, and volume didn't move the way the price moved. And that is kind of sus. It doesn't mean that we have to break down and it's going to come back down, but it means something is fishy at least about the markets, and I'm going to be aware of it. So maybe if we have news this week, maybe we might have strong shifts to the short side. That's basically what I wrote down. Long shift on the weekly basis, but volume didn't move or didn't follow the price 2 weeks ago. What we also have here, those are signal prints in the weekly profile. They're not that important. We haven't tested those signal prints here. We tested those here. I think in this week we are going to retest this point of control here. That would make sense. And maybe if we do come back down here, we're going to retest this value area low here. Maybe. Let's have a look at the daily. What do I see here? I mean, basically, if you analyzed the weekly, you will also analyze the daily pretty quickly. Let's just make sure my extremes are right. Those are the pink lines. Those are my extreme lines of the previous day, the second one, and then I'm going to create a new one. It's just the high and the low of yesterday. So what we also see here, and usually what I like more, I'm just going to put it on my other screen here. What I like to do here is to draw the boxes of where we had a bit of accumulation of prices. You cannot see it right now, but if you have a chart on your own, you can follow me, that there are a couple of boxes that usually are value area highs and lows of longer time periods that we tend to have like areas of support and resistance. So we broke out of this box here, and now what? Okay, what I wrote down basically is we have this accumulation here. The last couple of days we broke out of it, and if we come back down inside this range here, let's say we test this area here or this area here, those might be very good long setups, because from here there might even be like swing setups, you can hold them longer. Those setups here might be more like intraday setups, but if we break down below here, we come into this area here, and we retest it from the bottom, then I'm convinced that we might go through it all and come back down to the 490.60, and maybe if we continue this downtrend, then we have targets of 4,900, 480, 4,880, and then below that I haven't even analyzed because it's quite a long way, right? It's like 200 points. We're not going to make that this week, so I'm fine with it. And analysis of the pre-market session. It's quickly done. Of the cash profile. This is a context long. So we have a weak high up here, so it might be possible to squeeze through it. We have a buying tail here. We need to be aware of that. We are close to all-time highs, so I think we're going to squeeze them still. It's very long. Okay, and now I just write down what kind of trades I would like to make. Just give me a second, I'm going to tell you what I plan. Just want to make sure I do the right stuff, I draw the right stuff. Okay, so I have my zones here. Those are important levels of support and resistance. And I think as long as we stay above this zone here, we're going to be very much long biased. And I'm going to go long off of here if there's a good setup. I'm going to go long off of this zone here as long as there's a good setup. And I'm going to go short off of this zone. If we break down and we come back up, then I'm going to go short here. And the further down we get, the more realistic this breakdown gets. But here the 5120s is a good entry to go long, or if we break down and come back up, it's a good entry to go short. We'll see. Crude oil, same process. We start on the weekly. Let's see, what do we have here? Also strong buying action right now. And still we do have, no, that's fine. Still have a weak low. Which means at some point we might have a breakdown in crude oil, but it's quite some ways, right? It's like where? 71, it's like 9 points, it's 10%. That is too much to be a threat at the moment. Apart from that, there's nothing really noteworthy. It's just a steady long trend that I kind of like. The daily, you see here what I mean, talking about boxes. Like we have this area here of support and resistance. Maybe you can even draw it a bit like we have this high here, this high here. It's not an exact science, but we broke out of it, and I think that's an important level. So, what can I say? Breakout line. Same story like S&P. If we come back down here and retest this box, might be interesting to see the long. Apart from that, it's not very interesting right now. Not a lot of action in crude oil. But I think long trades are favorable at the moment. Very little volume so far. Nothing's really happening. Oh, look at gold. Oh, man. That thing is crazy. I saw that trade in gold basically down here. Down here on Friday, I was like, huh, it looks interesting. Maybe I want to go long. And I didn't go long for the reason that I thought I had a too big stop. And I wasn't really comfortable with it. That's the reason why I didn't go long. Now look at that, 500 ticks later, and even now just squeezes. Damn it. That would have been beautiful. That being said, I haven't done my analysis fully. What do we have here? So a very clear uptrend. Apart from that, anything that is noteworthy, this here is a strong buying tail. Apart from that, nothing. Nothing. That looks good. Looks good for the longs. And I think the best chances in crude oil are going long from here. I think at least. We'll see how market reacts. So my game plan is to go long off of here, go long off of here, and to go short off of here, and short here. This zone here I will ignore. It's gonna be too much resistance or support, so to speak. Yeah, that's what I want to do. Looks like it's a very balanced day. Not so much to do here. Now there's gold. Oh man. Beautiful. Beautiful. You know, sometimes there are days where you're like afraid of volatility. Although that's what we traders like, right? But we also have what we had in the S&P. We have this point of control, right? We have this very strong push long, but we don't get the volume with it. We have a bit of volume up here, but most of the volume of the week was down here. It's a bit tricky. But we had this very long range of nothingness. We have this failed breakdown here. So I don't think it's too important that we don't have volume somewhere up here. Let's see. Man, it feels like really annoying. 3 minutes till market opens. It feels really annoying to see gold move that quickly and not being in it. Man, I think I need like a second more to analyze gold in a second. I'm just going to continue my analysis. There's not so much in here. I think really important, right? We got above this level here. So as long as we stay above here, I think we're in pretty good shape. I think this is the more important level because this is the more recent high. And as soon as we broke that, we broke out. So I think the retest of this zone here makes sense, although it's a pretty long ride. If we get like from this 2103 down to this area, I wouldn't be too comfortable that we're going long and strong again. So let's see. Bias very much long. On gold, you can see that we have lots of liquidity up here. I think that we're going to get it. I'd be surprised if we don't. And that's a very strong long trend. Insane. But finally something happens. I thought like February, man, this month was really hard. No chance for me to make a lot of money. Okay. Last screenshot being made. Yeah. Okay, the one thing I want to see, wait, I'm going to do it on TradingView. Because I'm not aware of where the all-time highs are of gold. Where are they? Let's just see. Yeah, we are at all-time highs. Wow. Very close at least. December. And December we had like higher highs, so we need to find those. Give me a second. Where did we have them? It's actually not too bad. Let's see. We're at all-time highs, more or less. Gold all-time highs. So that means, game plan, gold is freaking long. Like, long, very interesting. Yes, let's see, market opened like 3 minutes ago. What's wrong here? Do I have a data delay? I do. Give me a second. Data is delayed by 10 minutes. It's most likely Sierra chart. I reckon there's an issue with my data. Maybe I haven't paid for that month. Where am I? Come on, where's my mouse? Here's my mouse. Account management, yes it is. I found it. Ah, that is annoying. Okay, I just need to find my account. Wait a second, just gotta have a look at what I stream. Not that I stream my credit card information. That'd be annoying. I don't. Okay. Perfect. So, while we're waiting, I'm going to have a look at the chat. No one's there, that's fine. Now it should work. Let's reconnect for a second. Now it should be on real-time data. Still not. Going to close my Sierra chart for a second. Going to restart it. Because I just want to make sure that I'm on real-time data. Still 10 minutes delayed. Why? Okay, now we should be back again. That looks better. Yeah, this is real-time data. Now I'm back in the game. That was a bit weird. But it was a mistake on my part, so I apologize if you are watching this stream. Now finally you can see gold breaking out again. Oh, breaking down. Interesting. See it on the 5-minute chart. Just to make sure you know what you're seeing, this down here is a 5-minute chart or a 1-minute chart, depending on what I like to see for the moment. This here is a 30-minute chart. This is the daily or the weekly chart in a market profile, depending on what I like to see. I'm going to change it most likely at the beginning of the day, so I want to see what the weekly looks like before I start trading, and then usually I just have a look at the daily for the trading. And this is real-time session profile, also market profile. So these are the charts you're looking at. As of right now, I don't see a lot of trades coming in, but that might change any second, right? The issue with streaming yourself is, unfortunately, that you cannot watch other streams, right? Let's see. Yeah, thank you. That should be fine. So, not too much action. Not too much action. I'm just going to have a bit of standing to do. Basically, the only market I'm really interested in right now is gold, but I know gold is gonna be really tricky for the moment, right? We have this attempt of a breakdown. Now we have a new attempt of the highs. We have those zones here. I'm just going to mark them, right? In the volume profile, you can see it here. This here is gonna be a really interesting zone. This zone here actually is a low volume. It was the last time, like you see here, those are the selling candles, right? Those are candles on the 5-minute profile where we sold the last time. And then we came back into this area, and now we're squeezing back out of this area. I'm not going to enter here for the 5-day breakout. This here also is a very important zone. You can see it here, right? We had low volume pushing into this, volume in this little consolidation, and now we're pushing out of volume, so it's a very like standard pattern. I'm just a bit too late, right? We already had a big move, and now what you can do in those situations is you can go and like get your little 5 or 10 ticks. That is totally doable. It was doable in the squeeze we just saw a second ago. I just don't like it that much. Because usually those breakouts of the high of day or the low of day, they tend to give me a lot of frustration if they don't work. And I don't want to start my day like this. I want to have a really clean trade to start the day. And basically, I don't see it right now. Although, I mean, you can see it here, right? Look at this. This here is very interesting. Look at those levels. Man, that's massive. 155 lots here. So interesting. So interesting. I imagine we're going to get all of those orders here today. At least to the 2110. Maybe even more. Wow. Good for you guys, if you're in it. Okay, let's see, what do we have here? S&P, very tight range, nothing to do here. Apart from that, I don't know. Nothing to do here. Just give me a second. Okay, I just need a bit of distraction, or I don't call it distraction, I just call it entertainment, because there's so little to do right now in the markets. And I just have to make sure you don't hear it, because otherwise I'm gonna copyright strike, which is not an issue because my channel is like 0 subscribers, but it's an issue maybe if your channel gets taken down and then YouTube says, hey, you're not eligible to have any channels at all, which might happen. Of course, I want to get rid of that. Let's see. I'm just going to choose different visualization. That would have been a very nice setup going on after this candle here. Very interesting. Now it's a bit tricky. Why? Because you see it here. We had a lot of selling pressure, right? You see delta was negative 300, got bought back up, incredibly bought back up, which means there are a lot of like limit buyers, right? You see it here. Delta was 260 and max delta or min delta was 370. So all of this is a candle where sellers try to sell aggressively, but there were limit orders that held them back up. Very interesting. And still, delta is negative. Delta, for you that don't know, is aggressive sellers versus aggressive buyers. So if we have a negative delta, it means we had a lot of aggressive sellers, which you can see here all across those candles. Right? People were trying to sell aggressively. That being said, in this candle here, we had a max delta of 470. So we had aggressive buyers, and we ended on a delta of negative 30, kind of neutral delta, but you don't want to see aggressive selling up here after an attempt of a breakout. So I don't consider it safe right now. I don't consider this area safe right now. Fortunately, I'm a bit late to the party, which is okay. It's a nothing burger day. Usually I don't like Mondays and Fridays and Wednesdays because usually those days are totally quiet, right? On a Monday, there's no news, mostly. I mean, look at this. This is just job. Boring little job. Gold. It's rising and rising and rising. But it's so hard to find a good entry now. We get some volume up here. Wait a second, I want to see. Maybe if you guys can help me. Oh, sorry about that. I'm trying to find a way to visualize the DOM orders here. This is a histogram. Let's see. It's called DOM. Could it be this setting here? DOM graph. Where is it? Chart settings, market depth. Here. And then it's what? DOM graph. Okay, yes. No. That is kind of what I want. Now, fortunately, my volume profile is gone. Do I want that? I don't know. See, I'm just going to make it smaller. Smaller. 2. That's an acceptable width. Bad enough.
I don't know if I like it. I'm just going to leave it here for a second. Have to check out myself how much I like it. I had it on the chart when I was trading Atas, um, because it's nice to see kind of visually where the big orders are. And it's quite nice to see visually how much of volume is gone. Okay, let's see. That looks kind of interesting, man. 124 level, it holds. But as soon as it breaks, I reckon we're going to go up like, what, 10 ticks or so, at least. Here. Yeah, might be possible. Let's see. So what I want to see now is I want to see this position here being tested. We haven't tested it yet. It got defended. And not just tested. I want to see that buyers are jumping to this level and want to be aggressive about it. And then I'm risking $50 on that trade. But maybe right now is not the best time, not the best try. Let's just see what the other markets are doing. Nothing here, nothing here. Cool. The issue on those trades usually is if a move is that extended, it's quite hard to break those levels. Because buyers, they just take profit at some point, right? So this position here just got bigger. It was 125 and now it's 136, which isn't too bad. What I rather dislike is that we have like a lot of candles that close to a negative delta. And we have this positive candle here, or this positive delta candle, and this positive delta candle, and both of them were really like pushing the markets to new crazy highs. And look at that. We had at one point 1,100 aggressive lots, market bought lots. And I mean, yes, it pushed the market higher. Then what? Now we have lots of volume up here. And if you get a lot of volume in a very short period of time, that might mean there's someone sitting at this level who thinks this is a serious matter. So we have those aggressive buyers. We know where they come from. They come from here, kind of. And we have, as of right now, those passive sellers right here. coming back to this level, you see here in the volume profile, we got some shares traded here, but it jumped here and came back down. Oh, this is going to be interesting now. You see this level getting reloaded. Someone's reloading here. 88, 90. When do we jump in? 50? I don't know. Market is very slow here. Reloading again. You see, this level was like what? 50 lots. No, gets taken out. Man. Interesting. Interesting. So, aggressive buyers take the lead again. But what just happened was, and that was the reason I didn't go in. You saw at this price here, at 2,109, we had this huge order sitting, right? Those 150 lots, and they got reloaded. So someone bought it down to 70, someone bought it down to 80, whatever it was, and then there were new contracts added. That was the reason I didn't jump in. And then someone bought it all up and pushed the market higher. Very interesting. Just not the right thing for me right now. Now let's see here. We do have crude oil and value area low. Interesting. You see here lots sitting. They're gone now. Coming back. Look at this level here. 79.74. How much do I want to risk here? 20 ticks on 5? 100? That's too much. 20 ticks on 3? 60? That too, right? I want to give myself some wiggle room. Let's see what happens. Taken out. It's 1 point. No, it doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like. Interesting. We also had a new 30-minute candle. Okay. Interesting. Still, like, no range at all on ES. Nothing's going to happen. Gold trying to make a move lower, but I'm not going to participate in that for sure. Let's just see where are interesting levels. Crude oil. The one interesting level would be here. Kinda. You see the zone of support and resistance I drew? It kind of really fits into the narrative because we have this very interesting low volume here. So if we break down into this low volume here and come back out of it, that'd be very interesting. I want to see it. Over here is a lot more interesting. Just try and change this area here. You see it here in the 5 minute. Interesting level. Very interesting level. So that's basically what I'm waiting for. Coming back down here, retesting it. And coming back out of it. See, what do we have here? Lots of sellers. The most important level will be this low here. I think that's kind of interesting for the long, very tight zone here. You can see it being tested here multiple times. It's not like I want to go long just because it comes to this area here, to that level. But if we see a good setup at this level, that's like a different story, right? And my headphones got low battery. Dang it.
Find a cable. So, if I'm lucky, just found a USB-C to USB-C cable. I just don't know if my headphones will get charged by USB-C. Does it work? Unfortunately, it doesn't. Damn me. So I need to find a plug. Maybe I just found my plug. Okay, back to the charts. What do we have? Crude oil doing nothing. Gold doing nothing. Well, that's not true. Gold is doing something. Gold's giving us some chances that I haven't taken right now. Yes, doing nothing. Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. And there goes our good friend crude oil. At this point, I might even be like, if nothing happens in the next 30 minutes, I'm just gone. Like, no need to hang around and do nothing. I got a whole lot of things to do, a whole lot of work. So I'm happy to be active instead of hanging around doing nothing. And you can see here, interesting. We're still not having this great setup, right? Yeah, it's not a great setup, but you can see here at value area low, we have, well, now an aggressive seller. We had this huge limit order sitting here. We haven't touched either extreme of the previous day. Now you see here, 146. That looks a lot like spoofing, man. That looks a lot like spoofing. I don't believe this order is real up here. As far as I saw it, does it make sense? Yeah, as far as I saw it, this order here got filled on the way down. So someone bought 150 ticks, 150 lot. So it might make sense for someone to manipulate the market to come back here and then push it higher Makes sense. But we need a bit more time to find that out, right? And I'm going to make a deal right now. If nothing happened till 4:30 European time, which is 10:30 US time, I'm going to stop trading. Absolutely no need to do nothing and get annoyed. Because in the end, those are the days when I'm like doing the most mistakes, right? When I get bored and I'm like, I want to do something. That's usually when I feel like I need to do something, and then I'm like going to do trades that are not very perfect. Okay, now the market starts to do what I think is good. I like it. If we now keep pushing into this low volume here, and we get rejected, that's my long. That is my long. There we go. Nice. Now let's see how it reacts. I am going to use for micros. I'm going to go in with minis on this. Now let's see how it reacts. That might be interesting here. If we got it from here to here, that's kind of, yeah, 15 ticks. That's what I think might happen. It's just not a great setup yet. But you can see a lot of volume being conducted down here. Do I just want to enter like that? There's no great setup yet. That's the issue. And I think about just entering long based on the price action, which means I need to have a very tight stop compared to like intraday setups. But it looks aggressive right now. Interesting. There was a setup long. Yeah, I'm going to take it long. Stop is slow of day. And my exit. Huh. Where's a good exit? first one is like point of control, right? 8003. How much would it be? I'm just going to figure out what my risk reward is, just to make sure I'm on a good track. Where's my stop? 79.24. My exit is 8003. That would be a perfect 2.4 to 1 risk reward. Okay, I can live with it. So now let's see what price action does. It's a little bit tricky. It's not very much decided yet. I'm going to watch the DOM now, the tape. Especially what happens here at these levels that were important for me on the breakdown, where I was like, there might be something happening to go long. If we cannot clear those levels quickly with a strong and long bias, I'm gonna head out, because the setup I took is just like a scalping setup. Nice. Bit of aggression. Nice. That's what I like to see. Just want to see where my 1-to-1 is. My 1-to-1 is here. I'm just going to put a line here. Usually I like to have my break-even stops at 1-to-1. Come on. Those lines, I hate them. There we go. My 2-to-1 is here. Nice. And 3-to-1 is somewhere around here. Cool. That's cool. I like it. And at very best, I don't think I'm gonna have 4-to-1 here. That's up here. Yeah, 4-to-1 is the max. Okay, you don't need it. I don't need it. 4-to-1 is max on this trade. I'm not gonna have more. So now all we need to do is to wait it out until either a signal comes by that says, hey, you gotta get out. Which might be very well possible. I mean, we are now in the situation of a breakdown, or of an attempted breakdown that just got defended. So to see a couple of sellers trying to push it short again, that would make sense, right? That being said, I like that we have this defense. Couldn't get to 1-to-1. Nice. Doesn't want to go, actually. Doesn't want to leave this zone. And that is usually something I don't like. And what I do like is, look, we have this test of this zone. We come back here and I get this long setup. And usually that means we have a chance of going back all the way. And maybe even some more if we're lucky. That being said, of course, because we are in this very long consolidation, what also might happen is a big breakdown. And I don't want to be caught in that. And as you can see, we're having troubles of keeping this trade up here. That being said, let's just see. Not yet. I just wanted to say it. Maybe it's a very nice setup, but it's not a setup yet for me. Maybe we have to wait for, I don't know, another 10 minutes until it gets to a point where I think it might be a really nice setup. That being said, look at it go. Yeah, and right where it had problems of breaking out, you can see that we have problems getting above those wicks here. It's not a warning signal, but something to consider for the moment. Why I don't see it as a warning signal? It's quite easy. That's a 1 minute time frame, right? What does a 1 minute time frame say about 30-minute movements? Not too much. Not too much. Of course, market makers try to scare you out of your positions. On those tiny time frames with a lot of wicks and algos come in and stuff like that. So just because we have a bit of a pattern here in a 1 minute doesn't mean we will have issues with the idea of the trade going back on. That being said, I don't like the action right now too much, right? We had this aggressive buying action and got countered. Not very much aggressively, but when we have aggressive moves and they get countered, that's not nice. That's the reason I'm a bit, now you see aggressive selling coming in. That is a bit annoying. Maybe I'm gonna get stopped out. My stop is at low of day. Now let's see what happens here. It's important. If we cannot get above this level here, I might just jump out of my trade. can. That's good. Still, we see some buying going on. That's the setup in my books. If I hadn't my position right now, I would go long now. Okay, but now I'm gonna be very much cautious, because if this low breaks again, then we might see a breakdown. And if we cannot break these highs here, then I'm going to be out as well. Because now we have this lucky situation that I really do like, that we have sellers from here that got kind of stuck here. Now they need to get stopped out here, right? So we can push the price higher. Very important. Very important. Doesn't look like we're going, as of right now, right, directly along, which is a bit it might mean that we're going to stay here for longer, but we gotta go now, because if we're going to close in this zone with the 30-minute candle here, I'm out. I think those zones, you need to get out of them quickly. You gotta be sure you see some buying action, which happens now, which is good. But if price action is slow and you do not see your favorable direction, yeah, you see something like this, where you see active selling, that ain't too good, right? The price action here is very interesting. I just feel like the way it moves right now, maybe it's better to take it off break even. Because a 30-minute candle closes in like 4 minutes, 3 minutes and something. And we still have active sellers at this level. We could not squeeze them out. I don't like it. Except if we just got this new high now. If we see sellers give up. You gotta push it now in the next 1 or 2 minutes. And you gotta be above it. Above this 79.59 area. If we don't, it doesn't mean we will not go, but it means like the risk of not going increased. And to me it's like I'm rather taking the small L instead of the big. Because that's basically what happened here again, right? Just made an aggressive move higher. We got beaten down again. Let's see. I mean, it's not like we have aggressive selling, but it's aggressive enough to prevent buyers from pushing prices higher. Let's see. Let's see what it does in like the next minute. The next minute is important for me. Okay. Nothing too serious happened. I want to see in this first candle what's going on. It's not good where we closed and opened at 30 minutes. I don't like it. I just want to see where the next impulse is going. And if it's going long, then I'm going to stay in the trade. If it's going short, I'm gonna be out of this trade quickly. But it might be ranging for a while here. So I'm just thinking about, do I want to be in a trade that's going to do nothing for like the next hour? I don't know. I think I don't. Good. Yeah, you see that? That's a risk. Let's see how we do. I'm just putting a break-even stop in right now. I'm taking it off. Not because the setup I took wasn't valid, but because the way it developed wasn't the way I like it. So I just took a very tiny win off the books. And one of the reasons I took it off is, yeah, you can see it now. We opened here without a test, without a tick to the short side, right? We didn't have a wick on the 30-minute candles, and that is very seldom. So I thought it kind of makes sense. It comes back down short to test maybe this level here or even this level here. So yeah, that's the reason why I was like not too excited to hold it any longer. That's okay. I'm just going to write it down in my journal. March. That was crude oil. That was a long trade on 4. Entry was, let's just see where it was. Oh, and I'm trading the Sims. Just had a couple of tests. Like days ago, to test new automations. So I'm obviously still in the sim. Okay, doesn't matter. 7948. 7953. Context is for sure long. It's a D. Yeah, interesting. Usually what I do when I have a setup is I take a screenshot and put it in my journal as well, so I know why I took this trade. Okay, let's see here. Okay. So, why did I take it? Because we have this very much balanced day scenario, and we had the rejection at value area low of the previous day, right? This previous day's value area low. We had an edge and volume edge. We had this context long, and a weak high here. And we had test of this zone here. Oops. And we entered, I think, quite perfectly here, right? And we exited here. Okay. That's good enough. Okay, just had to do something. The setup worked. Unfortunately, it did. And now buyers are pushing higher, so it kind of faked us out. And that's okay. That's okay. A look at gold. Interesting. Still, the same thing applies that I said like half an hour ago or an hour ago. It's very hard to enter here if market made such a move. Yes. I think we have an hour in, right? And look at this volume. It's so light. It's so light. I think we're going to go long. I want it to go long. Or I want to see it like push new highs. Maybe I'm going to re-enter this trade when... Just give me a second. It's Monday, right? That cannot be possible. Okay. Give me a second. I'm going to show you in a second what I think was weird. I was looking at the weekly volume profile. Oh no, still, it's valid, right? Wait, what's the low of the day? 27? No, it's not valid. Absolutely not. Let's see. Yeah, that looks way better. This volume profile here. I was looking at the weekly volume profile and I was kind of sussed about how much range this volume profile had. And I don't know what it was. Maybe I had like visible bars in it or something. But I want to have only like the week. Basically, it's kind of a replication of what you see here, right? Just like kind of this area here, this here. And the only thing that's different is I do not see the previous weeks, which doesn't matter for the moment. I just want to see where we are at the current week. And on Monday, of course, the current week is the current day. That makes sense, right? Let's just check something. How good does it look to me? It's actually not too bad. Let's just check something. Just a different view. Interesting. Okay, you see this here. We had this stacked imbalance from the previous low. We got it. We pushed higher into this stacked imbalance of this breakdown here on the 5-minute chart. And now, yeah, I think we're kind of stuck between these ranges again, right? We'll see. Maybe it's better to wait on this. While this here, does nothing. ES does nothing as well. If you have any questions about my strategy, about what I do, just drop them in the chat, right? But I think I'm gonna stop trading soon. Just let the market do what the market needs to do. Maybe I'm going to come back for the evening session, but usually I rather like the US session, and I work for freelance clients in the evening session. Yeah, crude oil comes back. Gold got slower as well. Yes, it's doing nothing. And that is kind of sussing me out of a trade right now, that although we are so close to the highs of the day, market is so slow. Usually you should be like happy to have a break of the extremes, right? Breaking it, coming back down. Just doesn't want to, right? Very small volume area as well. It's like 41.75 to 36.75. It's only 20 ticks of value area. That's not a lot. Wow, look at crude oil. Man, good for me that I'm not in it. Good for me. I would have been stepped out. Interesting. Man. Yeah, and that was kind of what I was talking about when we were in this consolidation. I was like, if we continue, we might break down below this zone here. This zone here for me is not a very good trade. I don't like it. But if we came below this zone here, and we just go to those stacked imbalances here, let's say 78.63. If we come here, we test those prices, we come back up here to the 79s, and then we go back short. That's where I want to be in. That's where I want to be in. But as of right now, it's not so much to do. On the other hand side, if we faked those lows and come back above this zone here, that's going to be interesting. I think I'm going to close it here. There's just so little stuff to do right now. It's not worth my time. I'm going to stop trading now. I'm going to stop the stream now. And I hope we're going to see each other again in the future. Have a nice day.